So I'm gonna kind of do a bit of a day in the life, you know, just video some of the things I'm doing. I'll tell you, there's a very small chance of rain. It's supposed to be almost 70 today. As a matter of fact, I'm wearing my summer costume. You can't see the reflection. So here's a couple things I'm gonna do. First, we feed the cat. And then we're gonna come in here and do something, and I'll show you what that is in just a minute. I sure do miss Shop Cat. I hope she's doing okay. That's where her tree was, and she sure seemed like she was pretty happy being here. And I really wished I could have kept her, because she was a loving little putty tat, and she liked me. She didn't like my wife, which I found pretty cool. So let me get Roof Cat fed. There she is. Good morning. Let me get you some groceries. Give me just a second. Okay, you ready? You ready? You ready? Hello, baby. Let's give you a little bit of that. You ready for some more? You gonna let me touch you, honey? Come on. Come on. We're so close. We're almost there. Come on. Don't bite me, because that's what she thinks my hand is food, or I have food in it. She has patted my hand a couple times with her unclawed foot. I mean, she has claws, but she has patted my hand a few times, and she's rubbed her head on my hand once, but I guess that's as good as it's ever going to get. And my dog is out, and she knows that. So I give her a couple of extra right here. Okay, there you are. You are such a pretty kitty. Hard to believe you're so old and still kicking. Come on, baby, come on. Come on. Yeah, she's looking for the dog. I'll leave her alone. Alrighty. Okay. First project. Let's go in here. The other day, I did a Patriot Guard thing over in Diana, Texas, and it was a little tiny country cemetery way out in the middle of nowhere, and there was no road into it, so and nowhere to park. So all of us Patriot Guard, we didn't want to take up the tiny bit of available space there were for the family, so we drove off into a field and parked our motorcycles in the field. I was really leery of doing that, because my bike is like 1,080 pounds, or 1,380 with me on it. I mean, very, very heavy. And what I did not have was one of these. Basically, it's a little kickstand boot that gives your kickstand just a slightly bigger footprint. I mean, your kickstand is probably right about this big here, and I just knew the second I got off my bike and my kickstand was slowly sinking into that soft grass. And what I did was I asked somebody that was next to me. I had a bottle of water in my trunk, and it was empty because I had drank it before we left, and there was nowhere to throw it away, so I just tossed it in my trunk. And I asked him if he would get that empty bottle out of my trunk for me, and he did. And I crushed it up and flattened it, and I was able to drop it on the ground and with my foot kind of push it up underneath my kickstand. And that's when I realized this was going to happen very often. I was probably going to have to get one of these. I have had bigger. I have had 6-inch circles, which is what you really need. This is not very big. It's not a whole lot bigger than the kickstand, but it's better than nothing, and it's all we could find. So what I'm going to do is tie some cord through these holes. And the reason you have to do that is because you got to sit on your bike and then lift the bike up straight. And then how are you going to get this out from the kickstand without laying your bike back over to go pick it up? So you tie some string around it, and then you hook the end of that string to your handlebars or something, you know. And let's see, what do I have that I can use there that I'm not using for anything else? Here's some orange. Right? Is there anything else in here I can use? I think I'll use this. I think I can pull some out without undoing the whole thing. Yeah, you just leave yourself about 4 feet, and then you hook a loop around your handlebars, so when you get on your bike, you can raise your bike up and then grab the string and pull it up from your kickstand. And I have on my backrest, I have a little pocket on my backrest. I can reach around behind me and stick it in that pocket. So that's what I'm going to do, is get these strings on that. That's what it'll look like. And what I did was cut a couple of notches just so I can wrap that cord around there and not have it get all tangled up and everything. Okay, project 1 done. Now I got to go put this fuel pump on our little junk lawnmower that we pull our trailer around the yard with. So let me go do that. All right, I got one back here that I can access from sitting in the seat, and I got one on my wife's bike, and that pocket there that she can access from not having to put the kickstand down. There is one thing I got to do. I got to put her new inspection sticker on this, which we have, and also got to fold up her new registration and put that away. Okay, let me do that. All right, my hands are probably going to be in the way, but this is the best that I can do for right now. Oh, Lord. So let's just start by seeing what we got here. There's a new filter. There's the new pump with a gasket. There's some new hose. Put that right up here. A couple of clamps. Probably won't use them. All right. Probably won't use them. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I got a clamp that escaped me, and it's up in here. Let me see if I can grab it without too much trouble. Yes, I can. There we go. All right. There is a gasket on here. And you know what? It doesn't feel like it's in bad shape. I'm going to leave it on there. So, let's get this up in here. There we go. I gotta get this. I think it's a 10 millimeter. Might be an 11. It's a 10. So I've had some time to think about yesterday's ride, and I think part of this was my fault. I intended to let my friend Rob lead the ride back, and I told everybody except for the guy that took off first. And let me let that train get by. So, in that guy's defense, he did not hear me say, I wanted Rob to lead the ride back. And the reason was, Rob has had group riding experience. I've known him a while, and I know that he would be concerned about everybody else's safety and stuff like that. So, that guy didn't hear me say that. So, that's my fault. I'm still thinking about the speed. There is an awful lot to being a road captain or being the leader of a group. You don't just take off and haul ass. You have a lot to be concerned about when you're leading a ride. And here's what I know for certain. When you're leading a ride, you have to be cognizant of several things. You have to consider motorcycles. My wife's motorcycle is an older motorcycle, and it was built long before 75 mile an hour speed limits. I gotta get something over here. So it's not geared to comfortably go 75 and 80 over long periods of time. It's geared to go about 65 comfortably. And that speed we were going was just way beyond the motorcycle's comfort limit, if you know what I'm saying. It's just way too fast for an older bike with gears that are much lower. Anyway, let me make sure. There should be an arrow here. I see no arrow, but I would be willing to bet that this is in. Yeah. 1 second, I'm missing something. Here we go. So, next time I'll be more clear about who I want to lead the ride. And, also, you have to consider that some people are a little older and their bladders may not be as big as other people's, and they may have to stop more frequently just for a bathroom break. And that's one of the things you got to keep in mind is the ability of other people. When you stop, you have to make sure that you're stopping somewhere that everybody can be comfortable stopping, because there are some places that have parking lots that are filled with gravel, and you don't want a guy whose legs are just barely long enough to hold his bike up having to hold his bike up in gravel. It's just a recipe for dumping your bike when you make people who would typically avoid those kind of parking lots pull into those kind of parking lots. And then there's comfort level, there's personal needs, and some people get cramps. My seat is terribly uncomfortable. I've got over 500 miles on it, and it's not getting any better. I am going to give it the full 2,000 miles and go from there. But some people, they got to stop every 50 miles because it's just not comfortable to go any further than that. And you're on your motorcycle for fun. You're not on your motorcycle because you're going to work or you have to be on it. When we're in a group ride, we're there for fun. So there's no need for speed. There's no need to make people ride for longer distances than they're comfortable riding. All right, let me crank this over. I got to fill that up. I don't know if I got enough battery, because I cranked this a lot trying to troubleshoot. So let's see what I can do. I'm gonna put this on full choke. Push down the clutch, and let's see how long it takes to pull that gas up in there. All right, it's not. What the hell? Let me open this back here. Yeah, I got plenty of gas. I'll be right back. Let me do a little bit of trouble. And here we prove it again. You buy Chinese junk and all you get is Chinese junk. Oh yeah. So I saved myself 20 bucks. And now I got to figure out why this is leaking so bad. We'll be back. All right. There's an O-ring in here that I assembled wrong. And I've got this one put together right on this end. Now I got to take this one out. There's this little plastic flexible clamp that pops out of that hole and that hole right there. And it is a booger getting them out. So let me get it out and I'll show you what I did wrong. Not that I would ever look at them, but there was no instructions that came with this. I guess they just expect you to be smarter than a fuel pump. And what it is this little thing has these little tiny, right in the middle there, them little tiny tabs that stick out in the center of that circle. And those little tiny tabs fit in that little tiny groove. And what was happening was I didn't take this off. I shoved this down through it. And what I did was knock that O-ring, see that little rubber O-ring there right here? I knocked that O-ring off and it wasn't making a seal. So now I got to put this on that and then get this all down in here. And that O-ring will make a seal up there. Yeah, my fault. Let me put this back together. All right, so let me show you. I've got no leaks over here. Full of gas here, right? Yeah. And now I got a little problem on the other side. I got to address. This hose here is leaking. It must be something out in the woods. It's that time of year for foxes. All these hoses are from the 90s. So if you the slightest little bit of movement and they crack, so I got to take this back off and put a new hose here. And then Breezy, come here. That might be a coyote. Come here. Come here. Come here. It's that time of year where all animals are looking for love, and they are on the move. Skunks, fox, coyote, everything. So we got to be hyper vigilant to protect our dogs. And I lost something where this hooks in right there. Whatever held it in, when I took this carburetor off, I didn't see it and it fell out. So now I have to figure out how I'm gonna, this is what operates the throttle. So I gotta figure out where it is, if I can find it. Maybe it fell somewhere that I can find. I doubt it. Maybe it's down here. I'll have to get on my hands and knees and give it a real good look, but if not, I will have to come up with something that will hold that in there. So 2 problems I gotta fix. First thing I'm gonna do is take this carburetor off, replace that hose, and then see if I can find whatever the heck fell out. Should be a little piece of plastic or something. And it was also probably brittle, and just from moving it around, it come out. I don't see it anywhere down there. So anyway, first things first, let me get that hose. I found it. It's black, and it blended in with everything under there. So this goes in from behind, and then this goes in, and then this snaps down over it and holds it in. So this is going to take 3 hands, so I'll be right back. All right, that is way better than the Yankee engineering that I had planned. I can say that because I'm a Yankee. Okay, let me get this put back together, crank it up, and there's a, I think that's idle adjustment here. I'll see how it runs and if I need to adjust that or not. We'll see. But if everything goes all right, I'm gonna drive it over to my garage and air all these tires up because they've been sitting all winter long. And then I'm gonna let this thing run for a little while, charge that battery up. So we'll be back.